Vanakkam. Greetings from K.S. Rangaswamy College of Technology. This is Mrs. S. Chandralekha, working as Assistant Professor at the Department of Mechatronic Engineering. Today, we are going to see a module under Safety Management course. The contents we are going to see is Dawn of Safety Regulations, Key Terminologies in Safety, and Hazard Triangle. Learning outcome: the learner will be able to understand the safety regulations, the learner will be able to understand the key terminologies of safety, and the learner will know the significance of hazard triangle. How the Factories Act 1948 came into existence. The dawn of Factories Act 1948. Actually, during the World War I and World War II, there were a huge loss for the entire world, for the both countries, the opponent and the thing, right? So when they have calculated, when they have taken a statistics of the injury rate of World War II in the fatality rate of the World War II, and parallelly people have taken a statistics of the industrial injuries and the industrial fatal rate, when they just accidentally compared these two data, it was really shocking that the industrial injuries reported were much more higher than the injuries or amputations reported by the World War II. So this made the people to make stringent norms and to draft the regulations, and that's how the Factories Act 1948 came into force. In earlier, British were giving the Factories Act, and as per a government of India, we have framed this Factories Act 1948. And one more thing is that injury rate that they have considered from the statistics were the mines, textiles, and the steel industries. Earlier, these industries sprung at larger areas, and the working condition was very poor. Women and children were employed in this particular industries, and there is no proper safety protocol or practice standard operating procedure that leads to much amputations and much accidents. So that is why the regulations have been framed very stringently, and the Factories Act came into force. The key terminologies in safety management. Accident, otherwise called as mishap. Accident can be defined as an unplanned, unexpected, unwanted event which may or may not cause damage, injury to the people, property, and environment. Actually, accident is a luck factor. Say for example, a hammer falling from a second floor or a third floor, it may directly hit the ground without causing harm to anyone. But the same hammer can fatally knock down a person who is at the ground floor and make it as a fatal accident. That is why accident is often referred as a luck factor. A hammer falling directly to the ground, that will be a near miss. But a hammer fatally knocking down a person who is standing in the ground floor, that will come under the reportable accident, and it is a fatal one. Next is unsafe act and unsafe conditions. Accident is generally caused by two major contributors. One is unsafe act and another one is unsafe condition. Unsafe act contributes to 80% of the accidents. Unsafe conditions contribute to 18% of accidents, and 2% comes under the act of God or miscellaneous. Unsafe act is normally caused by the human. Human is to err, that we have to agree, but when it comes to a standard protocol or a practice, we have to be 100% perfect. So based on the effective training and proper education, and by inculcating the safety culture, unsafe act can be eradicated rather than minimized. So when we put the human right, or when the human is right, the entire thing will go right. And unsafe conditions are due to the hazardous scenario present over there. Those unsafe conditions also sometimes may be due to the unsafe act of the workers that contribute to the unsafe conditions. Both these unsafe act and unsafe condition, it combinedly causes an accident. Accident may be sometimes minor, first aid case, near miss, major, and sometimes it proves to be fatal. So that is why in any industry, these sort of unsafe acts and unsafe conditions, that should be given due importance, and it has to be attended immediately, and proper corrective and preventive actions has to be taken. Safety. Safety is normally, we'll just say like state of being safe. State of being safe from what? State of being safe from physical hazard, chemical hazard, biological hazard, and ergonomical hazard, safety hazard, organizational hazard, and also it is a state of being safe from all means: economical, physical, psychological. So all these things comes under this particular safety. So this safety, it is actually a life science. It not only deals with the industrial workers alone. It deals with everyone. Safety is everyone's responsibility. So now coming to the hazard triangle. Hazard triangle, that comprises of three elements. One is hazardous element, another one is initiating mechanism, then target. So this comprises hazard triangle. I'll tell you an example. An worker, a maintenance worker and a worker, he got electrocuted by touching an exposed high tension line, high voltage line. The hazardous element here, what is the hazardous element here, and what is the initiating mechanism here, and what is the target here? The hazardous element is the unsafe condition there. What is the unsafe condition there? Is the exposed high voltage line, and the initiating mechanism is the unsafe act. He or she has to check whether it is properly insulated, properly earthed. So without checking that, that particular worker, he just went and touched. That was the unsafe act. And what is the target or threat? Target is that particular individual, the worker. And what was the threat? He got electrocuted. So this is how, whenever an hazard is there, we have to segregate it and we have to see what is the hazardous element here, what will be the initiating mechanism, and who or what will be the target or threat in that particular hazard. If the hazard is present here, we have to forecast this and we have to do that corrective and preventive action. Thank you. We'll see in the next module. Vanakkam.